Aircheck.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. And with the forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Thank you, Carrie. Well, we have pockets of flurries and light snow around the GTA. The more widespread activity, though, is east and north of downtown. So just keep that in mind for your commute. Today, we will have flurries and periods of light snow. The guaranteed high -2, northeast winds blowing it all around. We will lose the chance of flurries this evening and we'll have partial clearing. It's currently -2 at Pearson and -3 downtown. The guaranteed high is -2.
680 News Time, 1:33.
More drama on Parliament Hill to cap off a turbulent week for the Liberals. Just as the Prime Minister shuffled his cabinet, the NDP is now promising to take down the Trudeau government in the new year.
680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with the latest on all the action at Rideau Hall.
The hits keep coming for the Prime Minister. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has now announced his party will move a non-confidence motion against the government when the House of Commons resumes at the end of January, joining the other opposition leaders in looking for an election. The NDP had originally promised not to take out the Liberals until provinces sign pharmacare deals, but a spokesperson tells me the feds are in such turmoil, it's clear they can no longer deliver for Canadians. So that means unless the Liberals have a surprise up their sleeve, we're likely heading to an election in the spring. Just before this letter went out, we asked Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre about the timing of the next vote, and he said it's up to the NDP.
Jagmeet Singh is the only one who can decide.
Meanwhile, cabinet ministers are calling for unity in their party after a week of chaos, like Rachel Bendayan, who was just sworn in as the new languages minister.
The important thing is for Canadians to know that there is stability here.
With this shuffle, there are 8 new faces in cabinet, including Bendayan, Ottawa's David McGuinty in public safety, and Toronto's Nathaniel Erskine-Smith in housing. The Prime Minister has been reflecting on his future since Chrystia Freeland dramatically quit cabinet Monday, which has sparked a renewed push from inside the party to force Trudeau to resign. The Globe reports he was ready to step down, but was talked out of it and will be making his mind up in the new year. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
A command post has been set up outside a North York Jewish school, which has been the target of gunfire for the 3rd time this year. 680's Momin Qureshi is outside the all-girls elementary near Shepherd and Keele with the latest from investigators.
It was around 2:30 this morning when Toronto police say a vehicle pulled up outside the Beis Chaya Mushka all-girls Jewish elementary school. Someone got out and fired shots into the school. Now, because the shooting happened overnight, there was no one inside the building, so there were no injuries. However, Toronto police say the concern here is that this is the 3rd time in the last 8 months that there's been a shooting involving this school, once in May and once in October. Superintendent Paul McIntyre says they will be setting up a 24/7 command post outside the school.
It's just a few days away from the start of Hanukkah. We know how deeply disturbing this is to the Jewish community.
School principal Rabbi Yaakov Vidal says this has been distressing for the community.
Parents are very, very frustrated. They're very afraid to send their kids to school.
In a statement, Mayor Olivia Chow calling the shooting unacceptable, saying once again students, families, and neighbors are waking up to safety concerns. In North York, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time, 1:36. It's been an interesting couple of days at Queen's Park. Premier Doug Ford is now responding to a letter that Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie sent to him today. 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern has more.
Bonnie Crombie says she likes the way Premier Ford has been handling the tariff threat from Trump, but she wants the premier to recall the legislature to create a multi-party task force to deal with it.
Come together, listen to different perspectives.
The premier, though, today seemingly brushing that aside.
It was just a couple days ago I was getting criticized from her and her team for speaking to the American people on CNN.
Crombie is also now asking the premier to stick to the scheduled election date of June 2026.
He has a massive mandate. There's no need to create more instability.
But that's quite the turnaround from a week ago when Bonnie Crombie told me this.
Of course we want an election. We want to give people an option, a choice.
I don't think it's in the best interest of Ontarians when you have someone flip-flopping back and forth.
Ford says he talked to a U.S. senator who's trying to set up a one-on-one meeting between him and Trump. Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
A blast of winter weather ahead of the official start of the new season tomorrow, with up to 5 centimeters of snow expected in the GTA today. 680's Phil Martino's on the Weather Watch and joins us live with more. Phil.
Beginning to look a lot like winter. 680 meteorologist Alistair Alders says winter officially arrives tomorrow at 4:21 a.m. and this weekend is going to be feeling like the winter season.
Temperatures well below the freezing mark. The high is only -8 on Saturday, and when you factor in the wind, it will be feeling more like -16 Saturday afternoon, and it could feel like -25 Saturday night. When we have wind chills in the mid-20s, that's when we start to see the risk of.
Now, he says winds won't be as bad on Sunday. It will be warming up Monday into Tuesday, and the snow is expected as well. So maybe a white Christmas for us after all. Now, there's currently a weather advisory in effect for Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, calling for up to 10 centimeters of snow. I'm Phil Martino.
Well, the Maple Leafs back on the road just over the border in Buffalo. They search for a third straight win. Here's for Josh Dave.
Joe Woll was textbook for the Maple Leafs against the Stars the other night, and his partner will be Matt Murray for today. Recalled from the Marlies this morning, Murray hasn't suited up for a game since April of 2023. The Leafs eyeing their 5th win in their past 6 and their 2nd against Buffalo in less than a week. Austin Matthews absent from the morning skate today along with Joe Woll, but both will be available for tonight according to the team. Connor Dewar centering Mitch Marner and William Nylander on the top line in place of Matthews. Now, the Sabres are on 11 straight losses, but head coach Lindy Ruff says if they play well, they can factor out the crowd tonight, knowing that swaths of Leafs fans will be in attendance over in Buffalo. Puck drop tonight's at 7 o'clock on Sportsnet. I'm Virjesh Dave.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of gas.
680 News Time, 1:39.
Ho, ho, holy moly.
Santa, welcome to Indigo.
Heather, Indigo's chief book lover, just who I was looking for. What would you suggest for the hardest book lovers to buy for on my list?
Santa, I have just the thing. Indigo's beautiful edition of 101 quotes that will change the way you think. A book to treasure.
Well, I'm happy I ran into you.
Who's next on your list, Santa?
At Indigo, we've got gifts so special, even Santa shops here.
Now, the News Radio Toronto gas price update, and Pro predicts the price is going to go down a cent at midnight to $1.51.9 a liter.
680 News Time. 140.
Natasha Ramsahai here, Chief Meteorologist for City News. Did you know that you can now renovate your kitchen, basement, or bathroom starting as low as $199 a month? Our friends at 310 Reno Design and Renovation have made this possible with low interest financing. Contact the design and build team I trust and Ontario's top rated team for the last 17 years. Thanks to 310 Reno, I got a beautifully built basement. Don't take a risk with your home. Visit 310reno.ca or dial 310 Reno, no area code required.
This is the perfect time of year to get engaged.
Think about all the Christmas parties and the New Year's Eve parties.
Everyone who cares about you will be conveniently gathered together.
Think about it.
And when you're done thinking, come to Spence Diamonds and try on hundreds of different engagement rings.
All the designer prototypes right out in the open.
Just pick them up and try them on.
You have our official permission.
And every ring has a price on it that includes all the diamonds.
Come to Spence.
It's time to get engaged.
Spence. Open late in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
680 News Time, 141.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Princess Auto. Southbound on the 400, approaching the ramps to the 401, the left lane is still closed because of a collision, so that is causing a very heavy backup from Finch. Thanks to the traffic spotters for the updates on the southbound 404 problem. South of Wellington, the left lane is partially blocked, and that's due to a collision, so it is backed up from Wellington. And then delays again, southbound 404 DVP, approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. Westbound Gardner, west of Bathurst, at the end of the ramp lane, there is a stalled truck. That's at the end of the ramp from Spadina to the westbound Gardner. And that's just before the construction. So westbound Gardner is jammed from Jarvis to Strawn as you go into that construction zone. Delays westbound QEW approaching Dixie to west of Cawthra, from Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and then from Burloak to west of Guelph line. And there's a collision on the westbound 407 just as you're approaching the QEW ramps. 2 left lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed for about a kilometer. Westbound on the 401, it's slow from Brock Street to Salem, then busy Kennedy to west of Yonge, alternately express and collectors. Slows again Islington, express and collectors to Dixon. Eastbound on the 401 gets jammed up from east of the 410 and the collectors to the 427 ramps. And then it's slow from the 427 to Weston, express and collectors. Bit busy through Kiel, collectors, and filling in as you approach Avenue Express, east of Yonge, collectors towards Leslie. Slow in Durham from Westney to east of Salem. Eastbound on the QEW Gardner, that's backed up from Erin Mills to Dixie and from Parkside to Dufferin. Now, if you're traveling city streets, Parliament still reported is closed between Gerrard and Carlton. That's due to a gas leak. And in East Gwillimbury, traffic spotter reporting a collision northbound on Leslie, north of Green Lane. It's blocking all lanes. And southbound Highway 11 is jammed for 3 kilometers heading towards the 400 split. That's due to a collision blocking the left lane. Princess Auto is wrapping up the year. Browse through a wide selection of terrific deals on tools, equipment, and more. Sales end January 3rd, in-store or online. And with the forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Just some patchy bands of flurries and light snow around the GTA. Most of that activity is north and east of Toronto. As we go through the afternoon, some flurries and periods of light snow will continue. The guaranteed high is -2. And then tonight, a chance of flurries diminishing, partial clearing down to -10. The wind chill near -17. Sun and clouds Saturday, the high of -8, feeling like -16 in the afternoon. Currently, -3 at Pearson, -2 downtown. The guaranteed high today, -2.
680 News Time, 1:43.
Say hola, son, and hola savings with an exclusive redtag.ca offer. Book your next hola sun vacation to Cuba through redtag.ca and get an instant discount on your booking. See how much you can save and discover Cuba beyond its beautiful beaches. Don't wait. The Cuban sun is shining, and so are the savings. Visit redtag.ca or call 1-866-5REDTAG today to get your promo code savings. Certain conditions apply.
redtag.ca.
TSC.ca makes your holidays sound like,
whoa, this is awesome.
L'Occitane.
No, wait, get out.
You gotta be kidding me. PS5? Mom, Dad, you're the best.
You earned it, buddy.
You guys, these earrings are beautiful.
What, the Ninja Foodie air fryer oven?
That's awesome, Dad. Have all the pizza you want, honey.
You know I will.
With gifts for every budget, stocking stuffers, and more, TSC.ca has everything you need to make holiday magic. Shop exciting offers every day at TSC.ca.
Why do people keep coming back to Lando Lighting? It's easy. Because of their unbeatable selection in their enormous showroom, making it the #1 choice for the best pricing and selection in the city. And Lando Lighting's exclusive winter selection is on sale now with savings up to 50% off. Santa has already come and left red tags all over the store on selected items. Come and enjoy the biggest savings of the year, only at 210 Clarence Street, Brampton.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
We have a bit of light snow in downtown Toronto, mostly cloudy. -2, feels like -6. Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour. More political chaos in Ottawa today with the NDP dealing the latest blow to the Prime Minister. Leader Jagmeet Singh says his party will bring forward a non-confidence motion to bring down the Liberals in the next sitting of the House of Commons at the end of January. Now, the announcement comes as Justin Trudeau shuffles his cabinet today, bringing in 8 new faces. The investigation continues in North York after an all-girls Jewish school was once again targeted by gunfire. It's the third such incident this year at Base Hayamushka Elementary, after shots were also fired in May and in October. A command post has been set up at the school today in response to this latest incident. It's time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Virjesh Dave.
Sarah, the Maple Leafs looking to keep their steam heading into the holiday break, eyeing a 5th win in their past 6 as they take on the struggling Sabres over the border in Buffalo. Toronto's won their past 2, sitting atop the division right now, while the Sabres haven't won in their past 11. Goalie Matt Murray called up today. He'll start for the first time since April 2023. The opening faceoff set for 7 on Sportsnet. More NHL today. The Habs in Detroit at 7 o'clock. Hurricanes Capitals at 7 on Sportsnet East. Then it's the Avs in Anaheim at 10 on Sportsnet. The good news, bad news continues for the Raptors. They got Scotty Barnes back in the lineup yesterday against Brooklyn, but still couldn't snap the 6-game skid. Jakob Hertl also out dealing with a groin injury. RJ Barrett dealing with an illness. They'll play Fred VanVleet and the Rockets on Sunday. Elsewhere tonight, Bucks Cavs at 7:30 on Sportsnet 1. OKC Miami at 8 o'clock. An exciting start to the new college football format across the U.S. The NCAA playoff tournament, revamped with 12 teams in the bracket, starts tonight with Notre Dame hosting Indiana as the number 7 and 10 seeds respectively. Already snowing in northern Indiana, by the way. Kickoff tonight's at 8 o'clock. Bit of baseball. Patrick Sandoval is running it back with Boston, signing a 2-year deal today with the Red Sox. That's at $18.25 million. And veteran first baseman Christian Walker and the Astros are also reportedly progressing towards a 3-year deal at $60 million. And a huge media announcement from Netflix and FIFA this morning. The streamer securing broadcast rights to both the 2027 and 2031 Women's World Cups. It's their first full competition they'll cover, and Netflix is also promising an exclusive docuseries before the tournament. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Toronto, your perfect steak awaits. Shop Steakhouse and Bar is now open at 181 University Avenue. Indulgent steaks seared to perfection, handcrafted cocktails, and fresh seafood in a modern, vibrant setting. For a dinner out, happy hour, or late-night cravings, Chop is your new favorite dining destination. Visit chop.ca to book your reservation and discover downtown Toronto's hottest new steakhouse. Chop Steakhouse and Bar, now open.
If it's a flat or a squeal, a wobble or peel, your tread's worn down or you need a new wheel, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
From Toyo's Observe Winter Tires to the Celsius and Open Country lines of all-weather tires, Toyo has a cold weather solution for you. Toyo Tires, making tires for your road. Find a Toyo Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. TreadExperts.ca.
680 News Time, 148.
So where do things stand in the hours before tonight's shutdown deadline in the U.S.? ABC's Stephen Portnoy with the latest from Washington.
There is word that talks are again underway between party leaders in the House, but as the clock ticks toward the midnight deadline, Democrats, whose votes may be necessary in the House and whose support would certainly be needed in the Senate, say there's just one quick way to avoid a shutdown. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
It's time to go back to the original agreement we had just a few days ago.
Of course, that 1,500-page spending bill was derailed by President-elect Trump and Elon Musk. After its demise, Trump demanded Congress act to raise the debt ceiling before he takes office. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
A British soldier has been found guilty of manslaughter in the death of a Winnipeg businessman following a fight in a downtown Toronto bar last year. The jury started deliberating yesterday afternoon and reached a verdict this morning after the 2-week trial. Craig Gibson had maintained he struck 38-year-old Brett Sheffield on August 28th of 2023 because he thought Sheffield was reaching for a knife. Security camera footage from the locals-only bar on King Street shows Sheffield was not reaching for a weapon. He died in hospital from a ruptured artery in his neck. Gibson, who's now 30, was originally charged with aggravated assault and then second-degree murder before the Crown agreed to the lesser charge of manslaughter 6 months ago. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather, including a new problem on the westbound 401 west of Leslie in the Collectors.
680 News Time, 150.
This holiday season, it's not all about the ho-ho-ho. It's all about the low-low-low. Lone Star's Tug and Dine for $59.99. Enjoy a Tex-Mex 3-course meal with your choice of AAA steak, sizzling fajitas, barbecue ribs, shrimp tacos, and more. Start with the famous queso and top it off with churros for dessert. A 3-course meal for 2 for $59.99. Your home for fajitas, Ritas, and good times.
Brilliant deals are on with the IKEA winter sale. And now is your time to snuggle into savings of up to 50% off select items throughout the store. The IKEA winter sale runs December 3rd to 31st. Prices like these won't last, so shop in-store or online for quality items at cozy prices. No better time to save than December 3rd to 31st. IKEA, bring home to life.
680 News Time, 151.
Time for traffic and weather together, all the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Superior Door and Gates. Southbound on the 400, approaching the 401 ramps, the left lane is blocked because of a collision. This problem's been here for an hour now. So it gets jammed up on the southbound 400 from south of Finch to approaching the 401 ramps. Southbound on the 404, traffic is jammed through Wellington, and that's due to a collision south of Wellington. It's partially blocking the left lane, according to traffic spotters. So be careful and be ready for that slowdown. Past that, it's wide open for a long stretch into Toronto. You'll be going through delays as you approach Shepherd onto the DVP to just south of Lawrence. Now, westbound on the Gardiner, west of Bathurst, at the end of the ramp from Spadina, there's still a stalled truck blocking this ramp lane. And it's adding to these delays westbound Gardiner from Jarvis to Strawn. Westbound on the 401, a new problem west of Leslie in the collectors. The right lane is blocked with a collision. Through Toronto, it's slow on the westbound 401 from Kennedy to Avenue, alternately express and collectors. Slows again from Islington, express and collectors to Dixon. It's busy northbound on the Don Valley Parkway from north of Bayview Bloor up to York Mills. Doing okay on the northbound 404. A couple of other collisions to mention. Westbound 407 approaching the QEW ramps. 2 left lanes are blocked. So traffic comes to a sudden stop here westbound 407 as you're approaching that problem just before the QEW 403 ramps, about a kilometer of a delay. And then north of the city, there's a closure or partial blockage, I should say. Southbound on Highway 11, south of Line 3, left lane is blocked with a collision. So traffic is jammed from Line 5, which is just south of Burles Creek. Protect your home, business, and property with Superior Door and Gate Systems. Get a free estimate today for automated gates, fencing, and other custom solutions. Visit superiorgates.ca. And with the extended forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Thank you, Carrie. Well, we just have some isolated bands of flurries and light snow around most of the GTA. East of Toronto, some steadier bands, and north of Markham, similar story. But as we go through the afternoon, more so flurries and some at times periods of light snow. The guaranteed high -2, northeast winds blowing it all around. Tonight we'll have a chance of flurries diminishing, partial clearing. We fall to -10. A cold weekend, Saturday -8, feeling like -16 under a mix of sun and cloud. Sunday is colder, but the winds not as strong. The morning, though, wind chill will be near -21, and the afternoon wind chill is only -11 with an air temperature of -9. We warm up Monday and Tuesday. That comes with more snow. Today's guaranteed high is -2.
680 News Time, 1:54.
And we're back.
I gotta say, what a thrill.
Couldn't agree more, Jeff. My blood is pumping.
Canadian Blood Services needs 450 new donors every day to keep Canada's lifeline strong.
And in the final quarter of the day, we have 55 left to... What's that?
Is that a new donor?
It's a new donor.
We're at 396. Only 54 left to go.
This is the 450 challenge. Let's get Canada's blood pumping.
Book an appointment today at blood.ca/450.
Well, a blast of winter weather has hit the U.S. Northeast just in time for one of the busiest travel times of the season.
Millions of Americans hitting the roads and skies. AAA predicting a record 120 million people will travel at least 50 miles from home between Saturday and New Year's Day. Driving will be a challenge. Rain and snow for much of the country in the days leading up to Christmas. A storm system moving across the country could combine with an offshore system over the Atlantic, making for some particularly treacherous driving along the East Coast. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And lots to do over this last weekend before Christmas. Here's 680's Alain Cavillon with a rundown of the events.
At Kensington Market, the winter solstice will be welcomed in with the annual festival held tomorrow. There will be thousands of decorated revelers along with handmade lanterns, fire breathers, and a community feast. It runs from 6 to 10 p.m. Get ready to lace up the skates as skating at the Harbourfront will return tomorrow for the first time in 2 years. Skate rentals will be free on Saturday nights for DJ Skate Nights. And the Nutcracker is on at the St. Lawrence Centre for Arts both Saturday and Sunday. There are no TTC closures this weekend. For a full list of everything you can do, head on to toronto.citynews.ca. I'm Alain Cavillon.
And just a heads up, GO train service on the Lakeshore West Line will be modified this weekend. It's to allow for critical track work. Starting tomorrow until the end of service on Sunday, trains will run hourly between Union and West Harbour GO stations. Metrolink says some departure times will change, and there could be longer than normal wait times for GO bus connections. Your Market Minute is next.
Whether it's towing your big toys or hauling gear for the job site, the Toyota Tundra handles it all without breaking a sweat. By the end, you'll be standing there wishing you could high-five that truck. That's what we call being Tundra-struck. It's time to be impressed. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 Crewmax SR from $141 weekly for 28 months at 4.99% with $5,800 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Vision's Electronics' legendary Boxing Day sale is here. You'll find incredible Boxing Day deals store-wide with savings up to 85%. TVs, home audio, appliances and headphones, car audio to car starters, laptops, and more. And we'll beat any advertised price in Canada, guaranteed. Plus, you'll save even more when you pick up in store. Vision's Electronics legendary Boxing Day sale is here. See all the deals at visions.ca.
Checking the markets right now, the TSX up 230 points. Canadian dollar sits at 69.60 cents U.S. Now the dynamic funds market minute with Bloomberg.
The world's biggest retailer hitting some headwinds in efforts to go greener. Walmart says it'll miss its short-term climate targets for this year, saying it was unable to find and implement enough low-cost clean energy technologies. It'll likely review and update its climate targets for the new year. On Wall Street, stocks soaring higher today after the Fed's favorite reading on consumer inflation found prices last month were unchanged. With that, the Dow is up over 600 points. All the major averages, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P shooting up about 1.5% this hour. Starting with the new year, people who work for Grindr, the LGBTQ dating site, will be able to get upwards of $300,000 in fertility, surrogacy, and adoption costs covered by the company. And the CEO of Newell Brands, the maker of Sharpie markers, Coleman camping gear, Yankee candles, and more, says consumers are buying way more of its higher-priced items than cheaper alternatives. A $299 Mr. Coffee machine, outselling one for just $29. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
At Dynamic Funds, we believe that investment performance matters. Invest with advice. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
It's your business. You built it yourself. Let Rogers Sports and Media help to make it grow. There's now an easy way to get your business on the air with our radio station or our entire audio network. It's called Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes, RSM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple. Get a $250 ad credit to get started, and your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com for details.
And we're back.
I've got to say, what a thrill.
Couldn't agree more, Jeff. My blood is pumping.
Canadian Blood Services needs 450 new donors every day to keep Canada's lifeline strong.
And in the final quarter of the day, we have 55 left to... What's that?
Is that a new donor?
It's a new donor.
We're at 396. Only 54 left to go.
This is the 450 challenge. Let's get Canada's blood pumping.
Book an appointment today at blood.ca/450.
Well, right now in downtown Toronto, we have some light snow. It is -2, feels more like -6 in the wind. 680 News Radio is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 2 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
Good afternoon. It is Friday, December the 20th. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here's what's making news this hour.
The political chaos continues in Ottawa as the Prime Minister shuffles his cabinet amid a renewed push for him to resign. The NDP announces it will join other opposition parties to bring the government down and launch an election.
No one is injured after an overnight shooting outside an all-girls Jewish elementary school in North York. The third time there's been a shooting at the school in the last few months. Police are investigating.
The Premier responds to Bonnie Crombie after the Liberal leader last week called for an early election, only to backtrack today.
You have someone flip-flopping back and forth.
First the snow today, then the chilly temperatures on the way for the weekend. It's beginning to look and feel like winter, which officially arrives tomorrow.
The Leafs turn to Matt Murray in goal tonight against the Sabres in Buffalo, and a local quarterback leads the Hoosiers into the college football playoffs. Sports at 15.
680 News Time, 2:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart. Westbound on the Gardner, west of Bathurst, at the end of the ramp lane, there's a stalled truck. And then just after that is the construction from Strawn to Dufferin, where it's down to 2 lanes. So it's jammed on the westbound Gardner from Jarvis to Strawn. Southbound on the 404, south of Wellington, the 2 left lanes are now blocked. And this is due to a collision. Emergency crews have arrived on scene. So more lanes are blocked, and now it's really really jamming up traffic southbound 404 as you approach Wellington to south of it. And then it's busy from Finch to the 401 ramps, but not too bad southbound DVP. Southbound 400, the collision approaching the 401, that's cleared now. Still some delays from south of Finch to the 401 ramps. Also cleared is the westbound 401 stalled vehicle, I believe it was, west of Leslie in the collectors. And just getting word now about a new problem on the westbound 401 near the 400 in the collectors. MTO says the center lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. As for delays westbound 401, busy Brock Street to Salem, then Kennedy to Bayview in the Express. Very slow from the 404 to Avenue in the collectors. Getting bunched up by the 400 in the collectors before more delays from Islington, Express and collectors to Dixon. Westbound 407, traffic is jammed up as you approach the QEW ramps. That's due to a collision blocking the two left lanes. And if you're heading in East Gwillimbury, northbound Leslie is blocked north of Green Lane. That's due to a collision. Another collision north of Barrie. It's on Highway 11 southbound, south of Line 3. A left lane is closed, so a heavy backup from south of Burrells Creek. Looking for great last-minute gifts? At Shoppers Drug Mart, you'll find gifts for them and get PC Optimum points for you. Shop in-store or online. Exclusions apply. And now with the forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Just some isolated flurries and snow showers around most of the GTA. North and east of the city, we have some more steadier bands that are around. So just keep that in mind if you are commuting. Of course, people may be getting off a little early today for their pre-Christmas travel. There will be the flurries and chance for some light snow bands as we go through the afternoon. The guaranteed high -2. The chance of flurries diminishes tonight and it will be cold. Currently -3, both at Pearson and downtown, feeling more like -10.
680 News Time, 2:03.
The NDP upstaging the Prime Minister's cabinet shuffle this morning at Rideau Hall.
It's just another in a series of twists and turns that have been part of a wild week of drama on Parliament Hill. More from 680's Cormac McSweeney.
Just as ministers started arriving for the swearing-in ceremony, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh released an open letter saying when Parliament resumes, his party will put forward a non-confidence motion against the Liberals and try and force an election. It's something the Bloc and Conservatives have been seeking for months, and unless the Prime Minister has some tricks up his sleeve, it almost solidifies a spring election. The new Employment Minister, Nathan McKinnon, shrugged off the development.
Opposition parties are free to vote as they will, but we will be continuing to offer solutions for Canadians right up to our last day.
This comes as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau adds 8 new faces to his cabinet, including Toronto's Nathaniel Erskine-Smith in housing and Ottawa's David McGuinty in public safety. The new ministers are calling for unity in their party and stability ahead of the challenge of U.S. President Donald Trump at a time the calls are growing for Justin Trudeau to resign. It's an option he's reflecting on and will reportedly decide on in the new year. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre tells Breakfast Television all this turmoil just shows the state of the government at the moment.
It's a chaotic, costly clown show.
Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Toronto police are back at an all-girls Jewish elementary school for the third time in 2024, investigating a shooting that took place early this morning. This, as York Regional Police say, they're stepping up their surveillance of all faith-based institutions as well as schools. 680's Momin Qureshi reports a command post has now been established outside the school near Keele and Shepherd.
This shooting taking place overnight around 2:30 a.m. That's when police say a vehicle pulled up outside the Base Chaya Mushka all-girls Jewish elementary school. Someone got out and fired several shots through the front of the school. Thankfully, no one was inside at the time, but the school's principal, Rabbi Yaakov Vidal, says this is the third time something like this has happened in the last 8 months.
Unfortunately, we've had experience upon waking up middle of the night to this. I immediately notified the parents. We were not sure if we're going to be able to have school here today due to the police investigation. Then we were told that it was possible to have school here.
Toronto Police Superintendent Rob McIntyre says the investigation does involve support from the Hate Crimes Unit.
There's going to be a command post parked outside the school. We're going to have an officer sitting there 24/7.
In North York, I'm Momin Qureshi.
This is 680 News Radio at 2:06. Premier Doug Ford firing back at Bonnie Crombie after the Liberal leader asked him to stick to the scheduled election date. We get more from 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern.
It was only last week Bonnie Crombie said she was chomping at the bit for an early election.
Of course we want an election. I want to give people an option, a choice.
But today she says she wants the Premier to commit once and for all to keeping the election in June 2026.
He has a massive mandate. There's no need to create more instability
stability.
Ford quick to respond.
I don't think it's in the best interest of Ontarians when you have someone flip-flopping back and forth.
Crombie, in a letter to Ford today, says she likes the way he's been handling the tariff threat from Trump, but wants to see him recall the legislature and create a multi-party task force
so that he can hear different perspectives.
The premier brushed that aside and said he's getting closer to a one-on-one meeting with Trump.
Talked to a senator, very important senator, saying, hey, we'll set up a meeting. I just look forward to sitting down with him eye to eye, businessman to businessman.
Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
680 News Time 207. We've had our share of snowfall through last night and into this morning's rush hour in the GTA. And now the next shoe drops in the form of some of the coldest nights of the year so far coming our way this weekend. 680's Phil Martino is keeping an eye on everything and joins us live. Phil.
Well, John, just in case you need a reminder of what season is starting tomorrow, 680 meteorologist Alistair Alder says this weekend is going to be feeling like winter. The high will be -8 on Saturday. With the wind, it will feel like -16 Saturday afternoon. And if that wasn't bad enough, it could feel like -25 Saturday night.
The big question, will it be a white Christmas or not? Well, it's certainly possible for the GTA. We have this clipper today with the flurries and periods of light snow, so that is certainly helping, and temperatures well below freezing this weekend, so we don't see any melting. There's also another area of low pressure that will be moving in later Monday and Monday night. That has the potential to bring more snow to the GTA.
So in summary, he says a white Christmas in the GTA is not guaranteed, but it's possible. I'm Phil Martino.
Nuna Baby Essentials is recalling nearly 609,000 child car seats because the harness adjuster can loosen and the seats may not restrain children.
The company told U.S. safety regulators that the recall affects certain Rava seats with a plastic harness adjuster button. Debris can get into the front harness adjuster, making it loose and increasing the risk of injury in a crash. Nuna will send owners a fix-it kit with a new seat pad, instructions on cleaning the harness adjuster, and a screwdriver to remove a plastic cover. No date has been set to notify owners by letter. I'm Haya Panjwani.
It's an exciting start to the college football playoffs across the U.S. today.
The 12-team bracket is set with the first round starting today, the first ever time this format's happening. Oregon, the number 1 seed with Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State also getting byes. NCAA's Stan Becton likes the Bulldogs.
Georgia has really shown itself in those big games to really step up to the plate. You look at how they played Texas both of those times, and I think Texas is probably, and the committee thinks so as well with these rankings, that Texas is a better team than Notre Dame, and they beat them twice. So I think that could be an interesting matchup.
The 8 teams seeded numbers 5 through 12 will play in the first round, with the higher seeds hosting the lower seeds either on campus or at another site designated by the higher seed institution. Tonight at 8 o'clock, it's number 10 Indiana versus number 7 Notre Dame. I'm Virjesh Dave.
Coming up in 30 seconds, gas prices.
680 News Time 209.
LiUNA Local 506 sends special Christmas greetings to all brothers and sisters and their families. We celebrate the giants before us, the hardworking brothers and sisters who built this great country of Canada. We're tremendously proud of each and every member of our great union and must continue to lead by example and remain a leading force in the labor movement. Best wishes to you and your families for a safe and happy holiday season and a new year filled with happiness, good health, and prosperity.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Empro predicts the price will be dropping a cent at midnight to $1.51.9 a litre at most GTA stations.
680 News Time 210.
A Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And right now in Toronto, any classic donut is $1 when you buy any size original or dark roast coffee. Get a deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's Dollar Donut. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Toronto for limited time. Terms apply. See app for details.
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be a long journey before your home runs smoothly and worry-free. But thanks to our experts at Enercare, you don't have to do it alone. We're available with affordable solutions every step of the way. Whether it's heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, you get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best. With 65 years of helping Ontarians, we'll always be here when you need us.
Enercare, experts at home.
Calling all food businesses and bulk shoppers. Wholesale Club has opened a brand new store in Brampton at 85 Steeles Avenue West. Become a business member and earn 8% back in PC Optimum points when you spend $1,000 or more throughout opening month. That's double the points back on your cumulative spend to January 12th.
Time to 11.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones with Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Dynamic Funds. Westbound on the 401, west of the 400 in the collectors. The two right lanes are now blocked because of a stalled vehicle. Delays westbound 401. It's busy from Brock Street to Salem, then slow from Kennedy to Avenue, alternately express and collectors. And a bit of a bunch up here at the 400 in the collectors. Then a minor delay Islington, express and collectors to Dixon. And another minor delay as you head past the 410 in the collectors. Southbound on the 404, south of Wellington, the two left lanes are blocked with a collision, so traffic gets jammed on your approach to Wellington to south of it. So it sounds like you're just getting through in a right lane. And then more delays on the southbound 404 from Finch to the 401 ramps. A pretty good drive southbound DVP. Westbound on the Gardner, it's slow from Jarvis to Strawn. In that delay, there's a problem west of Bathurst at the end of the ramp lane, a stalled truck, and then you have that long-term construction at Strawn. Westbound QEW, busy from the 427 to Dixie, then slow 4 drive to Trafalgar and from Burloak to west of Guelph line. Eastbound on the QEW, well, first some delays Toronto bound as you're approaching the Burlington Skyway to North Shore. Then it gets jammed up Erin Mills to Dixie. It's slow on the eastbound Gardner as you approach Jameson to Dufferin. And busy northbound DVP 404 from approaching Don Mills to York Mills. Again, as you approach Aurora Road. Northbound on the 400 at Canal Road. The right lane is now blocked with a collision. So this explains these delays. Northbound 400 from approaching Highway 9 to Canal Road. All clear westbound on the 407 approaching the QEW ramps. That collision's gone. And still a collision reported southbound on Highway 11 south of Line 3. Left lane is blocked. So traffic is jammed for about 3 kilometers just south of Burroughs Creek. No problems on the eastbound 401, just volume delays through the GTA. Markets always present challenges. Good advice and active management turn challenges into opportunities. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more. And with the forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Well, Carrie, just some isolated pockets of flurries and light snow around the GTA, but if you're heading out of the GTA, certainly towards Oshawa along the 401, we have some bands of snow there, and traveling north of the GTA along parts of the 400 and 404, you'll encounter some snow, so just keep that in mind. We could see some further flurries and periods of light snow this afternoon, but it will taper off this evening. We fall to -10 overnight, the wind chill near -17, sun and cloud, cold tomorrow, the first day of winter, -8, feeling like -16. Currently sitting at -3 at Pearson and downtown. The guaranteed high today -2.
680 News Time, 2:14.
Join the circle of life at the Lion King. Don't miss your chance to experience the world's #1 musical. The Lion King is one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage. Feel alive at the Lion King. Now on stage at Toronto's Princess of Wales Theatre. Give the gift that roars at Mervish.com.
Hey everybody, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. I want to get back on here with some amazing news and positivity and let you know Best Brand Appliance is doing its part to get pricing down on the top luxury brands like Decor. Their Black Rat Fight appliances have been an absolute grand slam and at up to 20% off. It's one of those rare instances where we can all agree. Reminds me of my English Bulldog Biggie. Everybody loves him. He's 90% cookie dough. If you're thinking about Decor appliances, there's only Best Brand Appliance now in Toronto, Vaughan, and Oakville, Burlington.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
-2 degrees and clouds downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. I'm John Leatherby.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour.
Well, the NDP say it will present a motion of non-confidence to bring down the governing Liberals at some point. This on a day 8 new cabinet members sworn in a cabinet shuffle at Rideau Hall. And Toronto police continue their investigation, setting up a command post after shots were fired for a third time in 2024 at an all-girls Jewish elementary school in North York. York Regional Police say they have stepped up their surveillance of schools and community areas. Time for sports for Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'll just say this, Mike Leach. I forgot my lunch. So thank you.
You're very welcome, John. Enjoy the pizza. The Maple Leafs wrapping up a short little 2-game road trip down to QEW in Buffalo tonight. The Sabres are struggling, to say the least, having lost 11 games in a row, including a loss on Sunday at Scotiabank Arena to the Leafs, a game in which they led twice by 2 goals. The blue and white turning to Matt Murray in goal tonight. He got the call up from the Marlies for this one. Murray with a shutout in Wilkes-Barre Scranton on Wednesday. Leafs and Sabres dropped the puck at 7 on Sportsnet. Now, we don't typically talk a lot about U.S. college football, but today is different for a few reasons. One, it's the opening game of the expanded playoffs going tonight in South Bend, 12-team playoff this time. 2, the Indiana Hoosiers head into the famed Notre Dame Stadium in the shadow of touchdown Jesus, with Oakville's Curtis Rourke at quarterback. The Hoosiers and Fighting Irish kick off at 8. That game is on ABC if you want to watch it. Baseball, the Blue Jays announcing today the signings of pitchers Eric Pardino and Eric Lauer, as well as catcher Ali Sanchez to minor league deals. All 3 also receiving invites to the Major League Spring Training. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Hi, I'm Mike Combs here with Ivan from AGM Renovations. It's shocking to me how often homeowners hire the wrong contractor for their basement renovation.
At AGM, our trades have decades of experience in basement renovations. We get the job done on time, on budget, and it's done right.
Don't risk hiring just any contractor. Trust AGM. They're the basement renovation specialists I recommend. Your renovation destination.
AGMRenovations.com. Get $5,000 off your new basement.
The holiday season is full of choices. Cranberry sauce or gravy, red wrapping paper or green. Squeeze your child into last year's coat or layer them up. Buy your family dinner or buy your daughter medicine. Find childcare or find a new job. Skip rent or skip Christmas. I'm Lieutenant Colonel John Murray of the Salvation Army. When poverty gives someone an impossible choice, your donation is their answer. Donate now at salvationarmy.ca.
680 News Time, 2:18. This province proposing to increase transparency and accountability around health staffing agencies. Health Minister Sylvia Jones introduced legislation earlier this month that will require healthcare staffing agencies to report billing or pay rate information to her and would allow the minister to publish some of the information. Some critics and advocates say it's a positive step, hope it moves the province toward regulating agencies that charge double or even triple the rates of staff nurses or personal support workers, or lowering their fees. Right now, long-term care homes find about $40 an hour are charged for regular registered nurses, an average hourly rate for an agency nurse around $97. Many business owners say that they're seeing a jump in customer spending with the government's holiday tax break. The owner of BMV Books saying he's noticed an uptick, particularly on higher-priced items.
For the 14th and 15th, like the first 2 days, I think we were definitely busier than we otherwise would have been.
The Retail Council of Canada says the customers are shifting their buying patterns as a result of the tax break, with Boxing Day expected to get a boost. Tesla is recalling almost 700,000 vehicles.
Tesla is recalling thousands of vehicles because of an issue with the warning light on the tire pressure monitoring system. Here's the problem. The tire pressure monitoring system warning light may not stay lit up between drive cycles, failing to warn the driver of low tire pressure. If your tires aren't properly inflated, you could be at a higher risk of a crash. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the recall includes some Model 3s from 2017 through 2025, some Model Ys from 2020 through 2025, and some Cybertrucks from 2024. Tesla says it's got a free software update to fix the problem. I'm Rita Foley.
Coming up, traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 2:20.
Where style meets performance, a new journey begins. Genesis delivers bold elegance and cutting-edge innovation.
From courtside to luxury rides, go where the basketball stars shine, on the road.
Visit genesismississauga.ca today for an experience centered around you.
Why do I love getting my last-minute gifts at Shoppers Drug Mart? Well, lots of stores, many open late, great selection of gifts, and let's not forget the PC Optimum points. I get gifts for them and points for me, and so can you. Go to Shoppers. Exclusions apply.
This holiday season, when it's time to choose the right tree, some trees will be chosen for their size, some for their shape, and some for their shelter. Let's have fewer people under a tree this Christmas. Don't let homelessness assumptions get in the way of homelessness solutions. Go to CanadaCanDoIt.ca. Help the Canadian Alliance to end homelessness.
It's time, 2:21.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota. Southbound on the 404, south of Wellington, 2 left lanes are blocked because of a collision. Emergency crews are on scene, and traffic gets really jammed as you approach Wellington to south of it. And then past that, it's slow from Finch to the 401 ramps, but not too bad on the southbound DVP. Westbound on the Gardner, west of Bathurst. At the end of the ramp lane, there's a stalled truck. It's been here since just after 11 o'clock this morning, and then that's before the construction at Strawn. So it's just making delays a little bit worse on the westbound Gardner from Jarvis to Strawn. Westbound on the QEW, getting busy 427 to Dixie, from Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and then Burloak to west of Guelph line. I'm just looking at a new problem on the Toronto-bound QEW. It's on the upside of the Burlington Skyway. Right lane now blocked with a stalled truck. So expect delays from the Burlington Skyway to North Shore. Slows again, Erin Mills to Dixie. Busy on the eastbound Gardner, approaching Jameson to Dufferin. And it's slow northbound DVP 404 from approaching Don Mills to York Mills. Again, as you approach Aurora Road, a collision northbound 400 at Canal Road. A right lane is closed, so a very heavy backup as you're approaching Highway 9. All clear westbound on the 407, approaching the QEW ramps. That collision's gone. There's still a problem on the westbound 401, west of the 400 in the collectors. 2 right lanes are blocked, and that's due to a stalled vehicle. Through Toronto, it's busy westbound 401, approaching Kennedy to Bayview in the Express. Delays keep going to Avenue if you're in the collectors. And then it's slow approaching the 400 to west of it in the collectors, but busy from the 400 Express to Dixon. Eastbound on the 401, that's jammed up from approaching the 427 to Keele, alternating Express and collectors, then slow from Avenue to Bayview Express, approaching Bayview to Leslie collectors. Into Durham region is busy, Brock Road to east of Salem. And north of Toronto, Highway 11 is partially blocked southbound, south of Line 3. That's due to a collision, so it gets jammed from Line 5. The Toyota next to you in traffic? Yeah, it's likely from Don Valley North Toyota. Join the club. Visit the showroom or DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. And now with the forecast, here's Alistair Alders.
Thank you, Carrie. Well, mainly isolated flurries and snow showers around the GTA, although some steadier activity as you make your way in or out of Toronto along the 401 between Oshawa and the city. And as well, the farther north you go on the 400 and 404 Newmarket to Barrie, certainly looking at some snow. So just take care out there. We will have flurries around for the rest of the afternoon, possible some snow bands. -2 is the guaranteed high, and then -10 overnight tonight. The chance of flurries will diminish, and we see partial clearing. Sun and clouds Saturday with northwest winds blowing 20 to 40. So the high of -8 feeling like -16. It could feel like -25 Saturday night into early Sunday. Sunday's mainly sunny, winds diminish though, so the high of -9 feeling like -11 in the afternoon. And we warm up around Monday and Tuesday. More snow in the forecast during that time. Currently, it is -3 at Pearson and downtown. The guaranteed high today, -2.
680 News Time is 2:24.
On January 8th, the heroes of Chicago Med, Fire, and PD are back. Chicago Wednesday. New episodes return January 8th on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus. Law and Order Thursday on City TV.
I'm not asking you to trust the system. I'm asking you to trust me.
I have an obligation to make this city safe.
New episodes return January 16th on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
I'm Jill Taylor.
And I'm Denise Andriacci.
At 680 News Radio, we live and breathe weather.
Sometimes I even dream about it.
When you're getting your kids ready for school or getting ready for work, we are there with the weather details you need.
Always tracking the next storm and monitoring the latest forecast.
And no other team in Toronto has as many meteorologists.
Trust the #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
680 News Radio, Toronto.
Two of the best-known U.S.-based companies dealing with labor disputes at a crucial time of the year.
We're fired up!
Delivery drivers picket an Amazon hub in Queens, New York, one of 7 facilities where workers are demanding better pay and benefits. Meanwhile, at Starbucks locations in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Seattle,
we're striking because this company has still not stepped forward and solved the outstanding unfair labor practice charges.
Michelle Eisen is a 14-year employee at a Buffalo, New York Starbucks. The Workers United Union says the strikes could reach hundreds of stores by Christmas Eve. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Christmas news just around the corner.
Earn your spot on the nice list. Give an Elmwood Spa gift card. Relaxation guaranteed. Water therapies, massages, facials, and more at Toronto's leading day spa. Download a gift card at elmwoodspa.com.
Discover more value this holiday at Loblaws. From now until December 24th, get cap-off rib roast for only $8.88 a pound. And get 400 grams of select Black Diamond cheese bars for only $4.88. Shop in-store or online today. Conditions apply. See flyer for details.
No gift shines like a diamond. At TSE.ca, you'll save on a premium collection of diamond jewelry that'll make your holiday season unforgettable. Rings, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and more pieces that'll wow you and wow them too. Featuring exclusive lab-grown jewelry from Avera Diamonds. Shop it all with 12 interest-free easy pay payments and make this holiday season one to remember. Discover the gift of diamonds and shop exciting offers every day at TSE.ca.
Christmas news is brought to you by the Scott Mission.
When the invite to the holiday office party does not include a significant other, do you still go? Eva Francescano says more on the common no spouse rule at work Christmas parties.
On Reddit, TikTok, and other social media platforms, everyone's sharing their opinion on work Christmas parties not including spouses.
It seems really uncomfortable to me, especially with the way that our society has glorified the Christmas party, open bars, and it seems really inappropriate.
One woman shared a video of her husband getting ready with the caption, "What kind of job excludes the wives?" But the trend has become more common, with the tradition of bringing a +1 to the big company bash fading out. Some experts say it's a way for coworkers to get to know each other better. A recent survey by Challenger Gray and Christmas found about a third of companies are offering +1 invites this season. That's down from 53% in 2021. And while cost cutting plays a major role in the decision, remote work is another factor, with some companies using holiday parties as a team bonding event. I'm Eva Fragiscatos.
Christmas news.
25 minutes past the hour.
On 680 News Radio Toronto.
Time for the Dynamic Funds Market Minute on the TSX, up 241 points at this hour. The Canadian dollar up more than 1/5 cent, 69.70 cents U.S. With the latest, here's Bloomberg.
For all the talk of inflation and fears of a recession in the U.S., the average American consumer doesn't really seem to have such concerns. U.S. consumer sentiment rose this month for a 5th month in a row. The last December sentiment index from the University of Michigan increased to 74 from a score of 71.8 last month. Consumers' perception of their own financial situation rose to a 7-month high, while data shows they expect prices for goods to rise at an annual rate of 2.8% over the next year. The threat of a federal government shutdown, stoked by former President Trump, had markets lower, but they've recovered after an upbeat report today on core inflation. The Fed's preferred gauge of inflation came in lower than expected, an increase of 0.1% for November. The so-called core PCE year over year was up 2.8%, the same as the month before. I'm Scott Carr, Bloomberg Radio.
What's your portfolio's most valuable asset? It may be your financial advisor. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to see why advice matters.
It's Employment Law Q&A.
From 680 News Radio and Canada's leading employment lawyer, Howard Levitt, at levittlawyers.com.
True or false, Howard? If I have never had an employment contract or my boss wants me to sign a new one, do I have to?
False. Employers have employees sign contracts for the employer's benefit, not the employees. And if you refuse to sign and they fire you for that, you're entitled to full wrongful dismissal damages.
If I'm on disability leave, I do not have to provide my employer with any information.
False. An employer is entitled to know enough to find a way that you can continue working and to know whether you're able to return to work.
My employer is not allowed to contact me while I'm on leave.
False. They can ask you how you're doing, and they also can ask you about work. so they can stay up to date on what they need to do with you absent.
To contact Howard, visit levittlawyers.com. That's levittlawyers.com.
Employment Law Q&A.
From Howard Levitt at 680 News Radio Toronto.
It's 2:30.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
It's Friday, December 20th. Good afternoon. I'm Scott Burnett.
I'm Alex Bloomfield. Here's what's making news this hour.
As the Prime Minister shuffles his cabinet amid questions about his leadership and turmoil within his party, the NDP announces it will vote to bring down the government at the next sitting of Parliament.
Police are investigating after an overnight shooting outside an all-girls Jewish elementary school in North York. No one was injured, but this is the third time there was a shooting at this school in the last few months.
Winter officially arrives tomorrow, but the winter weather has arrived early with flurries and light snow in the GTA today. And looking ahead, we may just get a white Christmas.
The Maple Leafs invade Buffalo to take on the sagging Sabres, and the Blue Jays announcing the spring training invitees. Sports at 45.
680 News Time, 2:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis.
Westbound on the 401, problems continue. West of the 400 in the collectors, the two right lanes are blocked, and this is due to a stalled vehicle. As you travel through Toronto on the westbound 401, you'll be going through some delays. First, approaching Kennedy to about Bayview in the Express, but it's slow to Avenue if you're in the collectors. And then it drags from approaching Keele to the 400 in the Express, and it is backed up from the 400 to west of it if you're in the collector lanes. So both Express and collectors busy heading towards this problem. And there's also a new problem on the eastbound 401. Just before Weston in the Express, a left lane is now blocked with a collision. Looks like two vehicles involved. So a heavy backup as you approach the 427 to approaching Weston, Express and collectors. And then fairly typical volume delays beyond that point. Northbound on the 400 at Canal Road, traffic spotter says it's the two right lanes now blocked with this collision. So expect delays northbound 400 from north of King Road.